Welcome to the Femdom Revolution podcast, where we believe in the power of compassionate and ethical female-led relationships. Here, we celebrate the masculine strength and service and a feminine leadership style that's unapologetically true to its essence. Whether you're a Dom exploring your natural authority or a sub seeking purposeful surrender, we're here to support you in creating authentic, fulfilling dynamics. I'm Essie Grace, and together we're redefining what it means to lead with love.
So this cacao is delicious. If you hear me sipping, enjoy it with me. You know what, though? You know what was not delicious? It was actually, it is so much like the cacao because it was very bitter at first. And then it was like a relief and like cozy coming out as a Dom.
Oh.
Yeah. It was very bitter. It was not comfortable. It was difficult. And then it really felt like a relief once I finally did. And this episode was inspired by one of our Discord members that I can't pronounce your name. I'm sorry. It's so hard. Ziadek. D-Z-I-A-D-E-K.
Ziadek.
Yeah. Oh, Essie's got it down. No. Polish, I believe.
Oh, okay, nice.
If I got that wrong, well, I'll feel really bad. I'm going to go back and do my research after this. But Ziadek left a really great question and also almost like a request for some advice. And I think we're going to need to break this down maybe even into a couple episodes because there's actually a lot here. The question was, do any of your vanilla family and friends know of your lifestyle? How does someone tell others? Laughs, not so much as letting parents know, but in my wife and I's case, how does someone tell grandkids or kids? I'm stumbling all over this one. One day after we're gone, they'll find all sorts of clothing and equipment. I'd like for them to think good things about our love and FLR, and not that it was based on some sort of weird kink to them. Any thoughts? Okay, my friend.
Such a great question.
Yeah, very good question. And we're really going to kind of start at the top, and you might need to follow along for a few episodes. So, do any of our vanilla family and friends know of our lifestyle? Well, if you didn't catch it by my commentary at the start, mind you, not everybody in the whole wide world, but many. How about you, Essie?
Yeah, same. Many.
Man.
Yep. I did tell some friends and family.
And how did that go?
Oh, those are interesting conversations. So,
what was it like leading up to do I tell people and like getting to that point where you told people close to you?
Well, I don't think I spent too much time thinking about that. It happened kind of fast because I actually told a lot of my family at the same time because I live kind of far from my family. And so we have get-togethers, and my mom had scheduled this thing where all the family's coming together for this beautiful vacation. And she got a little like rental Airbnb, and there was just some like hard stuff going on where it was time for us to all like sit down and have like heart-to-hearts together and really catch up. And it just felt like the moment where I had to be honest with them about things that were going on in my life. And yeah, so I just jumped into the conversation, and actually in hindsight, I probably would have been a little bit more mindful about how I jumped into the conversation just because I had different family members there. Like some of them like
We're more prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Such a bomb.
And one of the interesting things that came about is I was visiting with my family, and then my grandma was coming to visit me. And we had this whole time scheduled.
Your grandma was coming to visit you here.
Yeah.
So
here.
You went to visit family there. Was grandma with you guys there too?
Right.
Yeah. And then you guys came here after.
Yeah.
Just for clarity.
Thanks for the clarity. So yeah. And it was going to be just me and her after me spending time with everybody over there. And when I told her, I just feel like there was so much pressure that was put on her in that conversation, and shock right before we're about to like spend time together. And she's going on this because she was traveling to me after all of this. And it's a big journey. Like, it's a lot to do to like pack up and be in vacation mode and be out of her day-to-day routine. And she's older, you know, and she actually, you know, didn't take it very well. And she looked at me and she told me something really hard to hear, which was, I don't know if I know who you are anymore.
Oh,
Grandma.
Yeah, that was the first response I got, and that was the moment where I realized, like, whoa, I probably should have taken this like a little bit more seriously in how it came up. But regardless, I think we would have gone through like some tension, and it ended up. And she actually also told me she didn't know she wanted to come with me, like back here where I am, and she was really, really like, my grandma's, okay, just to give some context, my grandma is like the most vanilla, like polite, well-mannered, like she's a wonderful lady, but she's like,
she is.
Yeah, not the most, you wouldn't, well, I don't want to say she's not open-minded, but she just maybe hasn't been influenced by things that are a little bit outside of the standard norm. And
the standard norm.
Yeah. I was so happy when she decided to come with me, and I was still feeling the tension, but it was a moment where she decided to fly with me to my home, where I thought, okay, thank you. Like, we'll spend this time together. We'll figure it out.
You can learn who I am now.
Mm-hmm.
And this is her first time visiting where you live.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, is it though?
Yeah, it was for her.
Wait a minute. Am I being silly? Didn't your grandma visit already once before?
No, she's come twice now.
Yeah.
And the first time was when we had this conversation.
Okay. I don't know why for a second I thought it was this most recent visit. Okay, that makes way more sense, because for a second I thought in my mind it was not your grandma that visited the first time, but it was totally her. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks, guys. Blonde moment here.
More clarity here.
But she was so sweet then. I don't remember her being fishy, like, hey, what's going on at all.
Yeah,
so she really did her work.
She definitely gives, when we talk about being a bigger person, she was able to do that. And I appreciate her so much for that. And so, okay, yeah, of course she's open-minded. Like, that's big. Mm-hmm. And by the end of our time together, where she got to ask me questions about where my heart is in this work. And I found out some things about her I've never known, like some things she hasn't told most of the family. It opened the doors to some deeper conversation, because I was so vulnerable with her. She was able to be vulnerable with me about certain things. And I feel like it really deepened our relationship, which is pretty amazing. I love thinking about that. And when I think about, introducing this to other people in our family, I think we do need to be sensitive to where they are, but also know that, in the proper context, vulnerability breeds vulnerability. And it can be a bridge to getting to know your family members more deeply, or your friends, and for them to have that chance to see you too.
And that also is a reflection of like what happens within this realm that we've created, this like in the quote work, right? Where it's like we are putting ourselves in a vulnerable position to be available at this capacity and be seen in this capacity, which also allows those who come to connect with us to also be vulnerable and open and be seen, because there's that precedent is already set.
Exactly.
Can we also rewind a little bit to how you told your family?
Yeah, like how did you present it?
Yeah.
Verbally.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, how did this go?
Where did I
We want all the details.
I think I started by talking about you a little bit, actually.
She's looking at me, guys. She's
looking at
Chalice.
And I was like, so my family not all of them have met Chalice yet, but you're just so cute and sweet, and everybody looks at you like you're this angel. And so I thought, okay, this is a good place to start. And,
oh, great. She's soiling my name. Just kidding.
just to give you guys
It's all Chalice's fault.
some context, I started purely as a coach and interacting in the Chalice like Creatrix tribe because I wanted to understand more myself before just diving into something I hadn't had much experience with. And so I told them about that, and then I told them about how lovely you are as a person. So that's where the conversation started. And I wanted to connect that too to saying that, you guys, I'm your daughter, I'm your granddaughter, I'm your sister, I'm all of these things to my different family members. You love me, you've known me my whole life. You've also known that I'm different, okay? I've made some big moves in my life, and I'm a little bit of an outsider when it comes to the standard norm. And so
the standard norm again.
Yeah, that's the word of the day, I suppose. So I just decided to use that as a way to bridge the gap. You guys have gotten used to me. All of my family grew up in one place. I traveled to another country. You
did not just travel, you moved.
I moved. I traveled to another country. I moved to another country. I've done some different things. So
you can say that again.
So yeah, I kind of keep repeating that. Let that sink in a little bit.
They're like, we see where this is going. Oh man.
And then
the suspense.
I think I just said it. I think I told them that I'm working as a dominant woman, and I think I need to.
Did you use that word, dominant woman?
I don't think I either. Okay. So I either said I'm working in femdom or I'm working as a dominant woman, something like that.
You didn't say like dominate. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think so. I may have used it at some
bit more
point
shocking.
in the conversation.
I didn't think of dominant woman. That's nice.
Yeah, I know. It's like so just like it means so many things.
But then everybody's looking like, what does that even mean? What are you talking about? You're weird.
You gotta explain that.
And so I start explaining it, and I'm getting all hot and sweaty as I'm explaining it. It's just, it's like,
haven't seen your family for like almost a year, and then you're just like, by the way, guys,
this happened while I was away.
Yeah,
and you guys, this is totally normal. Okay,
look, all my friends are doing
it totally normal. This is why I'm sweating as I.
And you would really like my friends, and so this is okay. And oh my goodness. It's so funny seeing.
Was Grandma there that time? No.
Yeah, she was. Okay. Yeah, pretty much everyone was there. And some people were more neutral. I had like, my siblings were more, well, some of them just sticking up for me and saying that I'm being honest, I'm being open with my family. Why would we, need to be harsh if I'm coming to them presenting this information? It's not like they're trying to pull it out of me.
You didn't have to share any of it, really.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so I appreciate
maybe
that.
They preferred that.
And then I had, let's see, my brother was funny. He loves me, but he also feels like he has to be taking care of me. So he has to tell me that that's weird and okay, but I don't know, just a little hesitation. He's younger, so but he's younger, but he's the only boy in the family, so it's an interesting dynamic. And some people are flat about it, like they just didn't really care so much. Like, okay. And
alrighty then.
Some people had an attitude about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the attitude? You don't have to name the family member.
Yeah, I'm not.
I want the tone of the attitude.
A little bit of just, I don't want to hear about this because it's uncomfortable and I'm a little angry. That's kind of what it felt like. Yeah.
And all of the feelings are valid.
And all of the range of feelings can come up with this. And I think that's the beautiful part about this work. I think that's the beautiful part about relationships is all of the things, all of the feelings, all of the experiences and parts of ourselves are there. And this brings it to the forefront. So there is a responsibility in it and also great opportunity to connect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you for sharing.
Yeah. You're
Man,
welcome.
I know that was, it's not easy and it's not comfy. And you were like really, the way that happened for you would have been so intense for me if I put myself in your shoes at least, because it's like, I do not like being the center of attention.
Mm-hmm.
I know, shocker. But like, I really don't. It feels like I'm a lot better about it now than it happened in the past, but it's uncomfortable. So I would have probably been sweating and shaking too. I don't know if you were shaking, but you were getting hot and sweaty, you said.
Yeah.
I would have been hot and sweaty and like blushing super red.
Yeah.
So I think you handled it great, and I'm glad Grandma came, and then she spent a lot of time with us.
Yeah.
And then I think we all just fell in love with each other.
We love her.
And she came again.
Yeah. So.
She's come again since then. And it's really beautiful. I think it was a nut gain for our relationship. And I can't say that about everybody, but for most, I can. I will say that. And because the people who are close to you, who love you, who really have that connection to you, that's there. That doesn't go away. And I am a rip it off like a Band-Aid type of person. So anybody listening, if you're not like that, you don't have to take my same approach. It comes with some fire, but that's just, that's my vibe.
Yeah. And I think just to kind of bridge it, we're likely answering Ziadek, your question, in like all kinds of different ways as we share, because I don't think it's a one size fits all answer, which is also why it's so beautiful. It's like your case is going to be unique, not just Ziadek, but listener, whoever, wherever you are, your case is going to be unique too. So you get to feel it out. And like what Amaya just shared, if I were to take a lesson from this, from like my own book, take a page from your book for mine, or however that's said, it would really be to maybe just the reminder to be mindful of who all is present and almost feel out like who might be ready for this information and who's not. You were in a situation where it was like a widespread, we're just talking about this with everyone who's present, where maybe you can tell me, but if you could do it differently, and I don't think we're the type of people that were like, I would go back and do it differently, but just make believe for a moment. If you could go back and do it differently, would you have done it differently?
For myself, it's a hard question to answer. It's really hard to answer because in hindsight, and because my family, I just have a really good connection with them. Not really. But would I advise someone to go about it differently? Probably yes. Yeah, for sure. Because what you said is really relevant about feeling out where somebody is. And everybody's going to have their own unique relationship with their family and their partners. And that's something I was not considering, the individual readiness. And that's part of the responsibility too, and how we present information. Yeah. It's big.
Yeah. And it's not always black and white either.
Yeah.
Because like the consent piece is a thing in the kink scene. Like that's why like public play, especially if it's like very loud, like this is BDSM type stuff publicly, it's not widely accepted. Like there are people that will be so happy to see that content or see it out in person, but there's also the other side of the coin where everybody who's witnessing that did not just like give a blanket consent. Like there are people there that did not want to be exposed to that, who might not ever shake that memory, right? It's like there now. And so just that consent piece, but it's not always black and white. So it's like in relationships, when it's somebody that we're close to, like I still find myself sometimes asking like, all right, is this somebody that I share this part of my life with? And it's not always a clear answer. But sometimes the answer is more clear than others.
For sure. And I do want to share a piece that I think is also important for somebody out there. As a new Dom, when I very, very first started this, I felt like I had to tell my family. I felt like I had to tell certain people that I was close to, because that was just, it was a pressure I was carrying. And I'm not the type to just, I can keep a secret, but I also don't like carrying carrying information that I feel is, well, how do I say this? I feel like this work is so close to myself and an extension of how I express myself in the world. I don't like hiding. And at the same time, I'm recognizing that there's nuances to how we express ourselves in life. And there's so many different, like, basically the key here that I'm trying to come across with is I don't think it is necessary to carry pressure around, I have to tell somebody about this just because it's the morally right thing to do. I think it's more nuanced than that. I think what is correct and right to do is not always black and white. And it's easier to carry that knowingness of it's not always black and white if in our own hearts there is a peace with ourselves and a knowingness that this is good for us, like healthy for me, like it's healthy for where I am, and I know that.
Yeah. And there's a difference between keeping a secret and keeping something sacred. And both of those could look like not being so forthcoming with information just for the sake of it. And so, I mean, even with our own lives together, right? Like we have a really beautiful life. I think we even got a nudge from life recently that was like, hey, you might be a little bit more private than is balanced. And we're like what is sacred, that balancing point, you know, we could have moved more in that direction and not been so private / like, I didn't feel like it was like secretive, but it could be interpreted that way, right? And so same with like the DS and like the relationship pieces where, you know, it's like that with any relationship though. Like even like a partnership, a marriage, a friendship, like there are just parts of that relationship that are sacred. And so you don't just go around telling everybody. And it's not necessarily a secret either. But like the secret piece can feel heavy or like almost like confining, like a little bit of a trap, because it's like a trap to hold something. Whereas like what is sacred, it feels like a more expansive container to hold and almost let that energy grow. Like a sacred container can continue to grow. A secret kind of just like it feels like this. I hadn't thought about this like until now, but kind of continues to compress.
Build pressure.
Yeah. And then at some point those pop, right? So it's like a very different piece, different energy altogether. And that's also something that I will tell my subs actually when they're asking, like, I had one sub that would call this his secret life. And I was like, okay, that's fine. You can call it your secret life. But I feel a little bit like the energy for me to be a secret in your life. I mean, it's not like the All-American Reject's dirty little secret. This is kind of like a turn on kind of secret. It was like, for me, it just felt like, oh, there's like maybe some shame around it. So that's why it's a secret versus like, this is something I honor and value, but not everybody can hold this with me. So and it's sacred. So we hold it together. Right. So I just was like, why don't you know, this is a sacred part of your life. So
I love that. That's a really, really great distinction.
Yeah.
It brings a lot of clarity.
And it relieves the pressure of like, I have to share this secret or I'm going to pop, you know, like somebody has to know or else I'm bad or like, you know, that's a very dramatic statement, but I feel like our inner fears and these like conversations that we might have with ourselves are sometimes dramatic. Like they're not words, but there could be that feeling of, you know, I'm not a good person or an honest person if I'm keeping a secret. But you can be an honorable, honest, outstanding person and know how to hold something sacred and know where and when it's appropriate to share that and when it's not. Because to share it where it's not appropriate is really, it's a dishonor to that, which is the sacred thing that is being held. So,
very well said.
What was it like for you, Essie?
Well,
we know you use the dominatrix word.
I have like a few different like threads. I'm not sure which one to follow first. So I did seek out my family to let them know because I felt concerned that this kind of work would find them eventually. And so that's something I've carried with me for like, I don't know. It's just like this idea I had in my head that if someone's doing like sex work online, like it's only a matter of time before it finds its way to like the vanilla life. And so my family we've gone through some growing pains over the years because I have an alternate lifestyle. You know, I moved away also and bought a farm randomly. No one thought that was going to happen. And so there are a lot of things that they have had to accept about me. And some things were harder than others. And so with this work, I'm trying to remember exactly, but I think I actually may have talked to the important people in my family like just a week or two into it.
Oh boy.
Because
So
I was like,
fresh.
yeah, it was like I had crossed the threshold. I was starting to take calls and I was like, okay, I think I have to let certain people know. And so I decided to I think I told my aunt first. She's like my favorite aunt. She's like a second mom type of figure in my life. And I thought she would be the most understanding. And also like I was kind of nervous. So it just felt like, somehow it felt like the easiest. Like, I don't know, I just feel so much like unconditional love from her. And so it just felt like, I'm going to tell her. And I did frame it. I did use you as well, creatrix, in my framing.
I understand you guys.
Yeah, and just the context.
Happy to be of service.
The context of our whole life and like what we're doing here, because it's no secret from my family that we're very focused on like this inner work and this healing work and like supporting each other the best way we can. Yeah. And even the ways that I've supported my family over the years, they really like value that part of me. And so it was like a really kind of easy thing to bridge, sharing how you've been sharing that part of yourself with like more people. And then the vehicle that you use to do that. And then, hey, now I am too.
Aren't you excited for me?
Yeah. So, and I did use the word dominatrix with everyone. And because I didn't know how else to frame it. So probably could have been a little bit more subtle, but it is what it is. And she handled it beautifully. How much she loves me, and if I think it's the right thing to be doing, then it must be the right thing for me. And
cool.
Yeah, it was very sweet. She was definitely surprised. Oh, she's super Christian, by the way, also, guys. So that's like, I feel like that's like one of the only things stopping them from like really, really, really supporting it. Not that they haven't supported me. They're of the one Christian God kind of thing. So if they knew I don't think I told her I title myself Goddess Essie.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's like
controversial.
Honestly, when I think of them like finding my material, that's like the one thing where I'm like, that part. I don't know if they would get over that part. Everything else, I think that they could accept. But that's another conversation. And I also told my dad and my mom. They were my next phone calls. My mom accepted it really easily. She was actually kind of interested herself. Like maybe like getting into it.
Oh my god!
Wow. I know. I was like, well,
I can see that actually.
I really think she could, but she would have to have like a little bit more. She has like just a little bit more self-love to work on. But she's come to that point a few times, and I'm like, okay, that's what you want to do. Like we can kind of start here, like as far as like just her making space for her relationship with herself. But I think she would really have fun doing it. Like really, really.
She's got some power.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
She's got some fierce and some edge and some, yeah.
Yeah, she's a dominant woman. Yeah. She would. Yeah, that's like really fun to think about. But yeah, there was like 2 times where she brought it up to me and I was just like waiting for her to like continue following up and she didn't, but
there's a sub that will say this, you know who you are. He'll be like, that wasn't on my bingo card. You know, and I think that's what I just thought with this one. Converting my mom into a dom. That wasn't on my 2025 bingo card or whenever bingo card. But
yeah, and my dad, pretty much I had the same conversation with everyone, which is just like, you know, sharing how much I value the way that I live and that I'm inspired to share it with more people. And here's my niche. With my dad, well, with everyone, but especially with my dad, I made sure that he knew that it was virtual. So I'm not just like going out and meeting strangers.
You hadn't yet.
Yeah. No sex, no nudity, like things like that, just to put his mind at ease. Because I'm sure, you know.
Did you say sex with them?
No, I don't know why I said that. I just got shy a little bit just now. Cute. Yeah, so I made that clear. My dad was kind of like, okay, like I kind of get why you're telling me this, but you really didn't have to. And when I was saying those disclaimers, like no sex, no nudity, etc., he was like, if that ever changes, you do not need to let me know. Oh. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dad. Like, and then I realized that maybe I didn't have to tell him, but he was the one I was most afraid of. Like, if it just found him one day that he might have like a meltdown. So I definitely wanted to let him know, you know, what was going on and that everything is safe. And if he has questions or concerns or anything, he can ask me. But we have had zero conversations about that since I told him.
Probably just how he would like it. Yeah. He can stay like that.
And then, okay, this one's really funny. So I also told one of my grandmas. I didn't tell my dad's mother. She is my grandma who is more of the standard norm grandma. Yeah. Very sweet Christian woman, goes to church like 3 times a week and is just a very, very dear heart.
That's so sweet. Dear heart.
Yeah, she calls me her dear heart. That's why I said it. And my mom's mom, I call her my Nana. She's like, she has an alternative lifestyle also. So when I was growing up, her and my Pop, my grandpa on that side, they would ride Harleys. They were in motorcycle clubs and like, she was always a gardener. She had like a beautiful garden and like kind of like the hippie style. I remember she visited me for my 8th grade graduation and we went to the beach after and she had a belly button ring.
Oh,
and so she's like
Nana.
that. She's edgy. Okay. And so I told her not because I felt like I needed to warn her or anything. She doesn't even have a cell phone. She kind of thinks computers are the devil, but just because we were catching up and I felt like I could open up to her about that and she would get a kick out of it. And she really did.
Okay, good.
But then right away she came back at me like, oh, that's nothing. I used to be a go-go dancer.
Oh, Nana.
So a go-go dancer, if you don't know, is a stripper.
Yeah.
She told me she used to be a stripper. And I'm just like, oh, then I didn't know if I was ready to hear that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Like, this is how my dad felt.
And then, and then she's telling me some stories and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Did she ever sleep with any of the men?
I didn't ask that. But yeah, she was younger and I think she may have, actually, I don't want to just speculate. I know she told me some stories, but I'm trying to piece it together, like if she left because she was with my grandpa, or if they met there. I don't know that. I don't think so,
Get
but
clear on that.
I do. I think I will. I think I'm ready to ask her some more questions about that, and it'd probably be fun for her to talk about it, like what life was like when she was young.
She's probably so excited to get to share that.
Yeah. I wasn't ready to ask questions in the beginning. I was really shocked.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like
you got a taste of your own medicine.
Yeah, for real.
That's so great.
Yeah, but that was great. And she asked me every time we talk, she asked how work's going and that kind of thing.
That's so precious.
I love that. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Yeah. I love her. I owe her a call actually. Yeah, so those are the people I've told. My most, just like the people in my family, my immediate family that I'm the closest with. Mm-hmm. And my sister, my little sister might know because I feel like my mom probably didn't keep it a secret.
Oh, yeah. I don't think your mom's the type that kept that a secret.
So, and I was resistant to talking to my sister about it because she's young. She's 21, 22, and I felt, I still do actually. I should actually see if my mom told her.
She's young and impressionable.
Yeah, and like if she thinks, easy way to make money, to do this and that, like if she doesn't have like a certain set of, I'm not sure how she would relate to it.
But if she related to it in that way, it would be even better that you were aware. So you could be supportive.
That's why this is like, it's not something I've thought about in a long time. And now I realize I've never gotten the clarity, like if she actually knows or not. So I will do that.
Yeah, that sounds good.
But aside from that, she actually has a really great job. She's a manager. She has full benefits and vacation time. There's a part of me that's like, no, I don't want my little sister to do this. Oh my gosh. I'm triggered right now.
Oh no. You're like, I have feelings to process.
This weird reality that may not exist.
Well, it's kind of interesting, like, hearing you go to that place because it's also a reflection of how people might feel when they learn this about us. Same with, like, your grandma.
Yeah, it's like this person in your life that seems, there's, like, a purity about it. And then I guess even with myself, I have a feeling about this kind of work. Like, it doesn't match up with the purity. But it really can. When I see like where our hearts are coming from.
But it's also to be in the scene, you are, whoever's listening, you are then exposed to a whole different world. So there's exposure to things that, like, I've seen things I can't unsee.
Yeah.
I've heard things I can't unhear. I've, like, so I think that's where it comes from for me, that feeling that you're expressing, is it would be that of, like, but she'd be exposed to X, Y, Z. Who knows what else, And so, like, but exposure doesn't mean that it has to become, like, a trauma or a weight. Or even if it does, that it can't result in something beautiful, which is, like, what we're seeing in the work that we're doing and the way that we're showing up is, like, okay, there's this exposure, but also it's worth it. Like, we can go in there and go into that world and, like, create something beautiful and grow and support others and, like, add some beauty to that space. So then maybe others will then be exposed to something beautiful too by being in that space. So
Wow.
Yeah, call your sister soon.
Yeah. Supposed to take her on a date soon.
Oh, I like that idea.
I just think it's interesting you talking about your reflection after talking to your sister, because I had no feelings about that with my family, like my mom or my sister.
You weren't worried about them going into this line of work?
No, I wasn't. And it's funny because my sisters are both younger. One of them's more just, she just has a quality to her that is very herself. And it's not something that I think would call to her. My other sister is just like, I don't know. I guess now I'm just reflecting on who they are as people and my relationship to, like, how I think about them in this sphere of things. And they're very unique people and very strongly themselves. Like, they have strong personalities. And
so are you.
Yeah, so am I. But it's just like, I just don't think that would be her. Oh gosh.
I wouldn't have thought that about you either.
That's so true. Now I'm like, I'm thinking about it because I saw a picture of my sister.
Oh, no.
That was very interesting.
Oh, boy. What is being unearthed in this episode?
If sisters ever get to this episode, they're going to be like, wow.
Oh my gosh, I'm famous.
It was just like, I remember seeing this picture, and it was the most sexualized picture that I've seen of my sister. And she's an adult, so fine. Okay. It's not a bother to me that she wants to. And she wasn't doing it for work or anything. It was just...
that you know of.
Well, yeah. It's just out there. And I feel, for some reason, I just feel very comfortable when I think about my sisters and their sexuality. And at the same time, now I'm sitting here wondering, what do I not know about my sisters? And all.
I would hope that if they went into that line of work or became, like, an OnlyFans girl or something, that they would, like, run to you to tell you because they know what you're doing.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
The interesting thing is, I don't know if either of them would. Oh my gosh, I want to knock on wood before I even say things right now, but it's like, I don't know.
I knocked on her
She
head.
knocked on me. Yeah, I don't know if she would even find it fun.
How can you not find it fun?
I don't know. It's just kind of, it's interesting to think about that. Like, your grandmothers, your sisters, the people that are, like, everybody has that connection to their sexuality. And what are they? You don't want to know what they're like, but then you want to know. Well, what you said, if they would come to you, if something did come up. I am rambling right now, you guys.
Two women in our lives. They're both older women. One you'll know as the fairy godmother. I think you know who I'm talking about. And the other, I don't know what kind of nickname to give her right now. Let's call her, like, she's a matriarchal figure in my life too. Okay, so we'll just say matriarch and fairy godmother. And both of them, like, and fairy godmother, this was way back when in the Sex Panther days when I started talking with her about it.
Yeah.
Actually, both of them. They were two people that I confided in my vanilla life. And they both, first of all, these women have stories. They are, like, some of the most wild women I think I've ever known, ever. And, like, think of, like, these women grew up in, like, hippie communities, right? they've done all the drugs, they've had all the sex, they've done, they've just like, they've lived lives, serious lives.
And
they have stories to tell.
They're older. They're like in their 60s, right?
And 70s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they've been around. They've done all this stuff. Yeah, they have. So like these are the women when they talk. Like, you listen.
Mm-hmm.
And when I told both of them this on separate occasions, they were both like, "Oh, honey, how do I get signed up?" Like they wanted to like join, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I remember laying on matriarch's bed with her and being like, so she would like cast her laptop to her TV, and we were like trying to sign her up on like Arouser. I might have said Sex Panther earlier, but Arouser and like other chat platforms. But because she didn't have a US bank, it was difficult, so we weren't able to get that done. But yeah, very interesting. So I'm glad in this conversation this is coming up, because I'm like, how did it work when I told people? Because it's been so long ago. So long ago. So basically, since I started into this work, I knew that like this is how it is with the truth, that it always comes to light. And I was not yet in the this is sacred mode. I knew it was like sacred work with myself, but I also felt like it was so taboo. And I still had so much shame wrapped around and tangled into my sexuality that it was also secret. And I know how my family relates to sexuality or had or did or whatever. And I did not want to go there. But I knew I'd have to. Also, I've basically always been a rebel. I hope I'm not a rebel anymore, but like growing up, I was very much that. And there's not like so much I could do that would surprise them. Like, even if it was a surprise, it wouldn't surprise them that I was surprising them, kind of thing. So I wasn't like so worried about that part. Mostly it was uncomfortable. Like, I'm going to talk about sexuality with family members that told me that this will send me to hell, like, I don't know. So life is funny because I would have put it off for a lot longer than I did. But let me back up. So I shared in a recent episode that I was nannying for a family, and the mother, my friend, was giving me business coaching, and she helped me to build up the Creatrix business, at least like the initial foundation, and the YouTube series. Like, she held me accountable for like, I'm going to film it by this day, I'm going to post it by this day. I really owe a lot to her. And so she knew, and the husband knew, my friend knew, because we were roommates at that time, the matriarch knew, and she was his mother. And so I had like some support already. I wasn't feeling like totally all alone. And yeah, I could have put off telling my family for a while. At some point, I made a Creatrix Instagram, and I don't know what happened.
Oh.
But it like linked to like, two things happened. And I'm not sure which one is the one that like got the cat out of the bagel. But it was either that's an SE trademark or copyright, whichever that is.
Phrase.
Yeah, phrase. Catchphrase. SE gets credit for that one. Yeah, essentially at some point, contacts synced between like my personal Facebook/Instagram and my work. And also at one point I went to post, and it was like the middle of the night. It was like midnight. I was so tired. I tried to do this thing. Posted something to my work Instagram, I thought, but it actually went to like my personal. And so I caught that. Somebody wrote me and was like, "Oh my gosh, nice picture." Because anytime I don't post on my personal Instagram or Facebook. Don't ask me if I have them, because I don't really have them, because I don't use them, because I'm so annoyed by the men, the DMs in the work and the DMs in the personal. Like, if I post a selfie, I'm still getting dudes being like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, literally I had a crush on you 20 years ago. You can get over it now." Anyways, or just like, whatever. I'm not here to talk about that right now. But basically, somebody messaged me and was like, "Oh my gosh, it's such a sexy picture, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "What?" This is my personal Facebook right now, right? I go check my wall, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I had a freaking heart attack." It felt like I deleted it from the Instagram because it was like set to share and cross post, whatever. I felt like the world was crashing down on me. It did not feel good at all, because I could feel like this is inevitable now. At some point, yeah, I have to talk to my parents. And I was hoping still after that like I could put it off for a while. But yeah, then there was this contact sync. So then personal friends from my regular vanilla life were adding me or following me on my work Instagram.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, but I also had
I
that
do remember
happen.
that happening. So there's a friend of yours that
a few,
knows.
and some people from high school that just started following me, and I was like,
Oh,
what?
man. Yeah.
Oh my, I just,
Mhm.
yeah. So who knows who actually knows
Yeah,
out there.
exactly. And it's like, it's a feeling, right? Of like, okay,
Mhm.
there's this exposure. And some people get off on it, I'm sure. But like, I don't, okay? So that was very uncomfortable. Once that started happening, I was like, I better, like, con prisa. Like, I need to tell my parents, like, soon, because if I don't, they're going to literally just stumble across this suggested profile somebody you might know. And I'm like, no. So I called my mom. I should have called in the opposite order because, well, we'll get to that, but I called my mom. Talking to my mom, you know, my mother's Mormon. I was raised Mormon. Like, that's the Mormon side of the family. And she did not have a very good time with it. But also, fortunately, like, we've learned to accept our differences. So we have a pretty good relationship. I mean, we had a pretty good relationship then. We have a really good relationship now. So we were already, like, improving and, like, learning to accept and love each other.
So is this at the beginning? This was like 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was, like, at the very beginning, maybe a couple or a few months into this, right? And then my mom, you know, I don't even remember what I said. I'm sure I used the dominatrix word and then had to explain what it was because, like, how is she going to know what that is? And then it was fantastic. It was so lovely. I loved it so much. And I'm like, I give my mom so much credit for this conversation because she still showed up with love. Obviously, mother's worry was present and, like, are you sure you want to be doing this and all this stuff? And then at the very end of the conversation, after, like, she did not come down on me. She did not try to make me change my mind. She didn't try to do any of that. Obviously, I could hear, like, she was uncomfortable or, like, hurting. But then she said something like, I just worry about your health. And I was like, my health?
Oh.
Yeah. And then she was like, and then it clicked, like, she thinks I'm sleeping with these men.
Aw, so then she was there anyway.
I know.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
That's why I was like, oh my gosh, you're a saint. No, I am not sleeping with these men. And, like, in that sense, I am super conservative. Like, you guys read my protocol and my hard limits. Like, I'm not, no fluid exchange, no nothing. I'm a latex glove wearer. I'm like, you keep your cooties. And also, I keep mine because, like, all of my fluids are, like, and yours too, by the way, super sacred. And I think we should be mindful in how we move with those. And everybody has their way that they like to do that, but I'm more on, like, the conservative side. So yeah, I get to explain that to my mom, like, oh no, that's not what is happening right now. And also at that time I was strictly virtual. So that was also, like, I'm sure it brought her a lot of peace of mind and, like, yeah, that's, you know. And now when I tour and all of this, like, my mom knows I go out, I leave her house to go see a sub and I come back and I tell her about it. And, like, there's something she doesn't want to hear. And I know that and I won't tell her. But there are some things that she's almost, like, curious about. So there's, like, this dance now when, like, for example, when I come home and I'm like, this was the day, blah, blah, blah. There are some things she thinks are just, like, adorable. Like when I was in Vegas last, had a couple tour days with a new sub. And the first day he was like, I actually both days, he just took wonderful care of me. First day it was, I just want to get you into a spa. You have a spa day. And he just met up with me, checked me in. I saw him in between part of the massage and my facial because there's this, like, waiting area. I told him that he had to also, like, get some spa treatments for himself too. And he gave me some, like, super thoughtful gifts. I got home and I was just like, Mom, look at this and this was my day. And I'm just glowing. And she's like, oh, like, she's getting to see the side of the work, which was really special. And then I could, like, there were some other nights where she's just a little curious. So I, like, get to, like, share. And then she's also like, I don't know, you know, but you can tell, like, she enjoys hearing it. And I think she appreciates the way that I handle this. I know I don't want to give her every detail because I know she doesn't want every single detail, but, like, there's more space. She especially appreciates, as a good Mormon mother would, the chastity piece.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Of, like,
oh my gosh, I want to hear this. I don't think you've shared this with me yet.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know if there's, like, anything specific to say except for just, like I remember when they visited. So my mom and my siblings came out to visit a few years ago, and we were talking about work, and I was explaining, like, the focus on the chastity piece, and that was, like, there was a moment where my mom was like, oh, I get it. Like, you're reaching them like through the means of like sexuality and this power play, so that like those that need support and reforming or refining this part of themselves, like having healthier relationship, can do that, like in with the vocabulary that they understand, right? And that was such a sweet moment
really
where I was
insightful.
like,
Clicked.
yeah, like, yes,
Wow.
mama, that's what we're talking about here. And obviously, like, there are parts of the work where the bridge that we build towards each other, you and me, listener, like, that might be a bridge my mom doesn't want to know about specifically, but the heart of it, and knowing that like there's a bridge that connected hearts and is bettering both of our lives, she can really appreciate. Like, she knows that I'm doing my best in the world to make the world a better place and be healthier and happier myself, and she's watching me grow and transform. And I feel very happy when I think about my mom feeling good, like that she raised a good daughter, you know. And I don't think that my work makes her doubt that. I think she gets it, so she doesn't want to know everything. That's fine. So,
and your mom, she even met one of your sons, right?
Yeah, she did.
Last time.
Yeah, and she welcomed him in so sweetly, and we had a great conversation. Even, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Okay, hold on, because line dancing. My mom likes to line dance, and we actually went out line dancing, and we had invited like other friends and family and all of this, and I invited my sub because he had just moved. He didn't know anyone, and I was like, this will be good. You get out, you dance. He's talking about, I have 2 left feet. Like, oh, is that a challenge? Get your butt out here and learn how to dance. And he did great, actually. And obviously my mom knows that he's a sub at this point. And then later, like it was like a night or two later, I was like, Ma, if you don't ever have anybody to like, if they're teaching a partner dance and there's nobody there, which now I know my mom can dance with any man she wants to there. She does. She has her picks, like her favorites. So the sub is not needed in that capacity, but I'm sure he would still be welcomed. Either way, I was like, Mom, if you ever need a partner to learn a partner dance with, like, we can call that sub. I'll send him out on assignment. Go dance with my mama. Learn this dance. And she was like, my mom's funny, guys, because she was like, oh yeah, then I'll marry him and make him your stepdaddy. Oh my gosh, I know. Wow. And she got a kick out of that, and I was like, oh, I never expected.
Oh my gosh,
I know.
It's so hard not to say your mom's name. You know exactly how I want to say it right now.
I know. As he loves saying my mama's name. But yeah, so that was great. I was like, you have jokes. I had to go to like each room and tell my sisters, because like we love talking about that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that was fun.
Wow.
She has not made him my stepdaddy, and that would be very weird. So thank you. And to that sub, if you're ever listening to this, I want to forbid you from marrying my mother. But like, if my mom falls in love with somebody, I really just want to support that. So I'll get over myself. But anyways, that would just be weird, and I would prefer life doesn't do that. But whatever you have for me, life. Anywho, so then bringing it back with that Instagram thing was happening, right? And I had that conversation with my mom, and it was probably while I was having this conversation with my mom that this next thing happened, because then I got a call from my stepmom or my dad. I don't remember, but they were together. And they had stumbled across my profile. I know. And I was like, oh no.
Wow.
And they were
that was quick.
freaked out. They were super freaked out.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dang.
And I do not remember how that conversation went. I just remember there being some tension. There was some tension. And I also feel like there's a feeling I get with my dad sometimes where he knows that he can't change my mind. And there's like I've always been stubborn, you guys. So when it gets to that point, especially if you would prefer something different, there's like this sadness in the air. And I felt that sadness in the air. And I was like, oh, dang. But yeah, it is what it is. He's still pretty uncomfortable with it. There was one time I visited, and there was a sub. He was working with like Apple at the time, and you know how they have the Google cars?
Yeah.
Well, there was an Apple car. And they were making Apple Maps so that they could make automatic self-driving cars.
Mm-hmm.
I knew about this before. Like I was already like, what the heck is going on? This is creepy. But he just so he's driving all over the U.S. He just happened to be right around where I was when I got to the States.
You were just going to visit your family.
Yeah. So this was not actually a tour, but this was like a sub meeting. And he actually wasn't my sub at that time anymore. We had changed our dynamic, but he was a great person, so we met up and went out to get some food and ice cream and literally skipped along the pier. It was fantastic. And crab cakes and like it was great. But I had mentioned at some point, like, I'm going to meet a friend, blah, blah. And then my dad, as I'm getting ready to leave the house, he says, so where do you know this guy from? And I was like
a few minutes before you have to leave.
No, as I'm going out the door.
God.
Great time
as I'm
to
like
pop that conversation.
Yeah, and I'm like, from work, you know? He's like,
no.
the panic and worry on his face was like, oh my gosh. And this guy's coming to pick me up. He's probably like out in the driveway right now. I'm about to walk out. Yeah.
Oh no.
He was like, he was not happy. He was not comfy. And he's also, there's like that sadness again of like, I can't stop her, like, so I think that's tough probably, especially for dads. And so I can really appreciate it. I also learned that like, me trying to comfort him by telling him more is not the way to go. So I just, don't say too much, a little bit. But there has been a lot of growth because the second to last time, so maybe this has happened every single time I've gone to visit my dad in where he lives now, because the second time I went to visit him there, I had him drop me off. I was going from one state actually to the next. And so I met up with the sub to go stay at his place for that leg of the tour. And so my dad drove me halfway. So we met halfway. We did a trade-off at a gas station. And that was also uncomfortable, like I could tell like my dad and my stepmom were like, I don't know, this is weird. Who's this guy gonna be? Like, but I think it was very minimal. It was sweet. And they watched him open the car door and wait for me to get in. And like, it was kind of awkward because I didn't get in until I'm a wave until you can't see the person anymore kind of person. I know it's really gross if you're a Northeastern type person. They're like, no, you just say bye and you turn around. But like, that's how I was raised. And so I'm standing outside of the door waiting for my dad to like leave the gas station so I can wave and give the I love you and like all this stuff, the sign language I love you. And then so my sub's standing there with the door open just waiting also. So I'm sure like that was maybe a little bit awkward for them, but that was sweet. They still did it, and then this past time we actually met up with two subs. It was me, my dad, my stepmom, my brother-in-law, and two of my subs, again for a trade-off, but we sat and had a whole meal together. And great conversation, and it was very sweet and very fun, and I think it was probably really good for them to see like there's a beautiful bond here. These are good people, there's a healthy relationship, and I think that probably helped a lot. But yeah, it was not easy telling them in the beginning. I probably blocked out the conversation because it was so uncomfortable. I remember where I was sitting on my bed when I got the phone call, and the gut drop of like, oh no, like as soon as I saw the call, like I think I know what this is, because they don't usually they didn't usually call me at that time. And something I want to dig up, I had oh, it's so awkward. Oh my gosh, I had a YouTube channel where like I posted like some little vlogs, and one of them was a video where I basically I really hope I unpublished this. I need to go check, but I was sharing about my worlds colliding. And it was for like my vanilla world. Like these were YouTube videos that like I would share like on Facebook or whatever, my personal Facebook. And then I think I said something like, don't, if you see the profile, just don't click it.
Okay.
And I think I even said, like, if you see the Creatrix Chalice stuff, like, just, you don't have to go there. And I'm like, this is awkward. As I'm thinking about it now, I'm already embarrassed for my past self. And, like, I'm probably going to go rewatch that today.
That's awesome.
Who knows? I know it's cringe. If I don't share anything, like, too personal, maybe I'll just share it as
I
like
kind of want to.
I have to
get
see
some
it.
wine and watch
Yeah.
that with you.
That would be great. Wine sounds great.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think it's so keto, but I can have some vodka.
We were just, me and...
I saved you vanilla.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I saw it run out today and I was like, I better put this stuff in here.
I told House Fairy to leave it there for you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, so you guys, I don't drink very much, but there was a phase actually at the very start of our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Where,
A little loosey-goosey.
yeah. I have a vanilla extract bottle, or had, and when it ran out, it has a whole vanilla bean in there. I just poured moonshine in there. And I was like, this will be my little flask, but it'll taste really good. And it did taste really good.
Did.
So we'd have a little shot sometimes for our podcast when we were all nervous and stuff.
Wow.
So, listener, it could go 1,000,001 different ways, sharing this part of your life with somebody, choosing to like open it up. And so, surely we'll dive into this on another episode. But if I were to summarize it here for you, short and sweet, it would be use your discernment, be considerate of the other person, and maybe approach the topic slowly so that you have the option of stopping and leaving it where it is before going so far that the other person is uncomfortable, right? So that's my advice from here. I'm sure there's a lot more, but
yeah. And I think the most important thing is that you know in your heart like what brought you to this path and you're comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So if you're comfortable where your heart is, it will go a long way in these conversations.
And it doesn't have to be shown off. I think that can get people into trouble because there's like this, I want it to be seen, I want to show it off. And that might have a tendency to expose people that don't want to be exposed. And so like the more comfortable you are with who you are and why you are and what you're doing, like the easier it is going to be for you to hold that and hold it sacred without like blasting or like projecting it.
Exactly. Good advice.
We do our best.
Yeah. Thank you, Ziadek.
Yes, thank you very much.
I really want to know how to say it.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, that was a great question. It was really fun to go back and talk about it and also to hear your guys' story again.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for
origin
opening the
stories.
conversation. Yeah, this was a really
Yes.
fun one.
And I'm pretty sure this is going to be at least 2 more episodes. I want to talk with you about some of the ways that our subs have handled it. And I'm also going to want to hear from you, how you have handled, you, dear listener, how you handle this part of yourself. And do you share it with vanilla friends and family? And if you did, how did you do that? And how did that go? So more on that soon. So we just shared a lot with you about our lives, maybe a lot more than we expected. And now I'm kind of feeling like an open book. I'm about to go in and watch this old embarrassing video. So listener, what else do you want to know? Leave it in the comments and we might just open it up in another podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to hearing you on our next episode. If you would like to connect before then, you can work directly with either myself, Essie, or Amaya. Just head to femdomrevolution.com, head to the section titled Our Doms, and that will lead you right to where you want to go.
And for those that are interested in chastity and key holding, you can find all the information you need at that same website, femdomrevolution.com/chastity, where you can choose your key holder.
We actually set up a new process. So by the time you hear this, you don't need to submit an application anymore. You can purchase your key holding package and then there's an intake form, but it'll get you right into the Discord, right into the space that you want to be in.
So just a few clicks and you'll be locked.
Cha-ching! Or more like, how do you make a lock sound?
No.
Mine. That's
Imagine
lock
an
sound.
old
Yeah,
school
mine.
lock that is very
Exactly.
slow
Mine.
and deep.
Deep.
Yeah.
Deep in your cage. That's as deep as you're getting right now.
And for those of you listening who are DOMs or aspiring DOMs, you can head over to our webpage, femdomrevolution.com, scroll all the way to the bottom where you will enter your name and email, and you'll get all of the updates for what's coming.
Future sisterhood circles, mentorship opportunities, and other community events and goodies. Which, by the way, on that note, if you follow us on Twitter or X, which I believe is Femdom Revolution without the ION. No, without the IO. Don't listen to me. Just get it from our website. But if you follow us on Twitter, we have a community there that we would love to have you join too.
For the Doms.
Yep, for the Doms. For the Doms. If you're a man and you try to apply, I just deny all of those requests. Because the first rule is for women only. So, all right. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing you very soon.
See you next time.